Hello, my name is Yosef Itzkowitz. I am an artist, maybe, and I'm here in New York, currently exploring the world a little bit and trying to meet some nice people and sharing in projects with them while illustrating the world I experience around me. My relationship with art, it's like a never-ending scroll of ideas. Often I'll be walking and I'll think, oh, this is art. And I'll write down like a one-liner that defines all of art. But then the next day, something else occurs and I say, oh, no, this is art. I think a part of the wisdom that I'm slowly gathering is that art is really indefinable. But if I could make it a little earthly, art is the verb of making, of gathering, of looking, of listening, of speaking. With that, it's meditating. It's just a journey. That's all it is. It's like me just waking up every day and thinking about what I'm gonna make today that's gonna make the world a more interesting and pleasant place to be in. You know, maybe share a little light in a world that sometimes at least appears to have a little darkness. You know, I think that's the honesty of artwork, that when you're really aiming towards something more real, per se, then all of the mediums kind of disappear. It's no longer about acrylic or oil or watercolor or film or music. Those are all just tools in a toolbox that is to be used to express. My experience of studying art and constantly making art is that it's an experience of holiness. It's an act of holiness, because what is one way of understanding holiness? And that's to elevate the mundane. It's to take something as mundane as dirt and to say, hey, this is not just dirt. This is, in Hebrew, kadosh. This is holy, and it's elevating. So what I've experienced through my own art making is, how can I elevate my life and make it more beautiful, or at times when I don't feel fulfilled or I feel like I'm lost in my day, how can I come out of that kind of rut and have a more of a spiritual experience here on earth? And art teaches that. Now how? Because the very nature of art is to make something higher. It becomes a pure, most perfect work of art when it's treated like one. So like anything technically could be art, but it has to be treated like art in order to be looked at like art. So the artist by nature is showing something and saying, hey, this isn't garbage. This doesn't belong in a landfill. This belongs in a frame. You have to actively push yourself to make something that you truly believe is valuable. And it's very hard to find value in this world, like real value, in a world of fleetingness, and where everything is kind of just thrown at you in a world overflowing with content. Very hard to find something that really kind of rips you open and wakes you up and like pulls out your heart. So with art, like that's what you're striving for all the time. And it's never enough with your art. So you're always pushing more and more, but it's really about the internal experience of how can I push my own spirituality to uncover it, to elevate it. We just did not come to this world just to do nothing and to be nothing. We've come to this world because we're expected to show up and expected to create. I've been just in the studio, arguably putzing around, trying to figure out what I need to be making to be sharing with others. It's trying to create purpose in the world and make my life matter. A world without expression and collaboration and problem solving with beautiful people is kind of just a meaningless abyss. It's just not home. We are meant to go out and fill the sidewalk with flowers. To beautify the world is the great art form, because the world by itself is just probably perfect. You know, like trees and flowers, it's all perfect. But then man came, right? And man needs to do something. Art is like the study of imperfection. Purpose is found not in finding what you're looking for, but in the process of looking for. I don't really strive for perfection because I know it really just cannot exist. It can't. Like if the world was perfect, there wouldn't be a point. Perfection is almost not a good thing. It's like almost evil. It's like you have to be this way. It's a very radical thought, or something has to look this way in order for it to be right. And that's incredibly unfair. Artists don't fit molds, which is why they push creative thought. They push the boundaries of creative thought because they're saying, hey, I get that this has been this way for a long time or it looks this way, but I'm gonna try it a little differently. Maybe the only real perfection is nothingness, which we're all gonna return to anyway, so don't worry. Yeah, there's always obstacles when I'm making art. Like most of the experience of actually painting and drawing is yelling going on in my head. In Hebrew, it's the Yetzer Hara. It's like the demon on your shoulder in like the old cartoons. When I'm making work, the only job is to like keep him tame. Like I don't want to kill him or destroy him. Like he's very helpful because he keeps you sharp and he shaves the fat off because he's annoying and he's always like, it's not good, it's not, make it better, do that. Oh, you should probably start over, you should probably throw it away, you should probably go get lunch, It's that voice in the head that's always, it's the ego, I think, like tame the ego and let the spirit shine, let the soul come out. The big part of art is to be the master of those tools and not let the tools be the master of me. But like in retrospect, I'm very grateful for all of those obstacles because through those obstacles, I come up with like journal entries that to me are like the best part of all my art that I don't even show to anyone. It's like that's the philosophy that I'm searching for because it's eternal wisdom. It's like you only learn that from like wrestling with the demon on the shoulder, wrestling with the ego, wrestling with the tool. I went through a time when I was like really in despair spiritually. I didn't believe in anything. That triggered the whole idea of like, if I don't believe in anything, and there is maybe literally nothing to believe in, then my only option is to go out there and find/create something that I could believe in. The thing that always pulls me towards the art is like that call to enter into the flow because that feeling is so fulfilling. It's a high, it's a natural high. It's like a no drug high. I'm constantly trying to enter into a state of creation where I'm in awe of my work, where I'm impressed by my own work. The only way to be impressed by your own work is if you surprise yourself. And if you surprise yourself, you weren't there, Because if I'm in such control, like I know exactly what I'm making. But the second I remove myself, then I create the element of awe. And I think you could argue that's the divine element to art. That's why I'm more drawn to more like abstract, kind of like dirty art, because like you could see this person was just going to town in the way that like he was just letting, or she was just letting things kind of fall into place. Because then you can look at it forever. It's not so like controlled. So sometimes like when I'm working, I'll just close my eyes for a second, or I will say, hey, do something risky right now. Something that you don't want to do. Because I want to be in control. I want to be in control. But if I'm trying to bring in the element of awe and mystery and surprise, I need to get the heck out of the way. If you ever see me draw people, I draw very quick. And it's because of two reasons. A, I'm afraid of screwing up, and I do not want that to stop me. So my response to it is, okay, just do it quick and get it over with. And when that happens, it's like I'm not even there because there's like so much gravity playing a role in it. It's like, oh, where's his hand? Yeah. But then there's like precision drawings, which is slow down and fall in love with your line. And it becomes a pure, most perfect art when it's treated like one. Like if you love every stroke, at the end, the final piece is going to be a collection of strokes that you love. Any roadblocks you find with your art, you're only going to learn from it. Like if you quit because of a roadblock, you miss the treasure. The treasure is found in the conflict, in the argument. there's an internal argument about something with your art, it's because they're fighting for the truth. Something within you is fighting for the truth. And whatever you may learn from that is gonna be a lesson that hits you a lot harder than quitting on your painting or even the painting itself. Because all the art happens beyond the painting. Painting doesn't mean anything, right? It means something when we grant it meaning, and when we tell stories about it, and when we share kindness with others around the painting. And then it embodies that energy. Yeah, so the advice is, just keep going. Emunah. Emunah is faith. Something inside me, and I actively work on it, is just believing that the end of the road is good, and I can't possibly go wrong. So I'll go through the challenge, I'll go through the bleeding out money, whatever it is, because I know that this is the way things are, and I'm in a state where I like it. And I've gathered these resources to my liking. It didn't just appear. I slowly built up my life as an artist. So now that I'm in this world, I'm gonna keep pushing it. I'm pushing it and pushing it with the hope, not a promise, that it's gonna end up in a way where everything works out. Because if you don't believe that the end is good, I feel like you're just always gonna quit at everything, because whatever you're experiencing is like, this is not good. It's not that this is not good, it's the end is not good. Change the end game in your mind, and what you have in front of you is good. But that's the war of man. We didn't just come here to just float around and be high all the time. Like, no, we're here to learn. Learning is only found through walking up steps. We're strengthening our calves at all times. We're getting stronger. And you have to believe that you're getting stronger. If you don't believe that you're learning from your experiences, you might be missing the point. If you believe that everything is interconnected, then maybe you can say to yourself that everything lives in everything. So if that's the case, then how does something as simple as a pencil express everything? So I think like what I'm saying is, can you elevate your life by looking at simple things and elevating it and making it more beautiful? Which is what Van Gogh did with the chair, and why they just called him crazy. Because he's like, it's not a chair. Why is no one understanding this? It's not a chair. Yeah, so what can you look at in your life that you could think, this is not this is much higher. This is a living and breathing divine being, all connected to the one. Too heavy for the last thing?
Perfect. No, that was good, man. That was...
Isn't this like a 19-second video?
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll figure it out.
That's art, man. It's a lot that goes into a little.